is 10 basic 3-punch boxing combinations. So going into this first, we're just going to start off nice and simple with our double jab straight right. When we do all of these videos, we'll tend to use numbers as opposed to the name of the punch, just so you understand where we're going to go with this. Our number 1 is our jab, so that's our straight left. Our number 2 is our straight right. Number 3 is our left hook. Number 4 is our right hook. Number 5 is the left uppercut. Number 6 is the right uppercut. So our first, the basic 3-punch combo, it's just a 1-1-2. So when we're throwing this 1-1-2, making sure you're keeping that right hand glued to your head, elbow pinched into your body, nice solid base, keep your weight in between the center of your feet. So you're gonna take 2 steps forward on that double jab, pushing off that back foot to send you in. So 1-1, I bring that shot back to my shoulder before I pop out the second jab. And then when we throw this right hand, we're pulling that left shoulder back, bringing the hand back to our chin, firing that straight right, straight down the middle, left hand sits tight. I want to rotate my back, hip and shoulder through with a punch, turn my laces to face down the same line as my punch, driving my toes into the floor, bring the hand back tight. So 1-1-2, 1-1-2. Have a go. So our next basic 3-punch combo, working off that double jab again, but we're going to set up the right hook to the head now. So getting 2 steps in on that double jab, making sure we're getting that hand popping back to our shoulder. We look down the end of that punch so you're not firing at a strange angle. So 1-1. This time as I'm pulling and reloading this left shoulder, I'm going to get my elbow high, body rotating in with this overhand right, making sure my elbow's not sitting lower than the shoulder. And from there, bowl it nice and high over the top. So 1-1-4, jab, jab, right hand stays nice and high. Again, I'll commit with that hip and shoulder, so I'm not just generating power from the arm. Rotate that back foot, dig the toes into the floor, keep a slight bend to your knees so you're not locking out in this top position. Elbow high, turn over, keep your core nice and tight so you're stable. 1-1-4 on the right hook. 1-1-4. Have a go. 1-1-4. Our next 3-punch combo is the double jab, right uppercut. So again, these first 3, focusing on doubling up that left hand, finishing and setting up our right. So working in off our double jab again, getting that nice pop from our shoulder on the double jab. Keep your right hand high, don't let your elbow peel away or pull away from your body. 1-1. From there, again, committing with the hips, digging that back foot into the floor so my laces are turning in. When I throw this uppercut, I don't want to be dropping my hand down to my waist. It comes a couple of inches from the chin, start to drive that shoulder through and drive that shot up nice and high. Drive your hand up to the ceiling. Look to get your bicep nice and tight to your chin. so that's all covered up when you're landing your punch. So one, that hand comes away a couple of inches from the chin. I'm not dropping it too low. I just get my power from the rotation in my hips and shoulders, driving that shot up nice and high, past my head, so I'm not landing too low, opening myself up for a counter. One. Have a go. 1, 1, 6. 1, 1, 6. So if you're struggling or you find one of these techniques hard or you're making a couple of little mistakes when you're throwing one of these punches, just rewind the video, go back over the technique, watch it again, drill and get that down before you start progressing on and going on to the next technique. Solidify this down, get all of those little details right in each and every punch. So our next 3-punch combination, again, we're working off that double left hand to set up this right hand. So we're going to start with our jab and our left hook. So our 1 and 3 to set up that number 2, straight right, straight down the middle. So we move our feet the same way. We're getting those 2 steps in, closing distance on those 2 shots. When we're throwing these first 2 punches, we're looking to get our opponent to adjust their guard to defend that left hook. So as they tuck up around the side, they leave this gap straight down the middle to set up that right hand. So I get 2 good steps in, nice, long and snappy on my jab. I look down the end of my punch. I start to reload my shoulder, take another step in, bring that left hook around the side of the guard. Keep my elbow nice and high. I turn my lead foot and hip in. And then from there, as my left hand's coming back tight to my chin, pull that left shoulder back, rotate through and send that right hand nice and straight down the center. Make sure you're tucking your chin nice and tightly behind the shoulder, rotating that top knuckle inward, look down the end of your punch, little bend in your knees, keep a good center of gravity. So, the 1, nice snappy jab, reload your shoulder. Number 3, number 2, nice and straight on that last right hand. 1, 3, 2. 1, boom, boom. Have a go. So again, working off that jab and left hook to set up our right hook this time. So that number 4 again. So taking 2 steps in, closing distance, especially after that jab, we've got to get another step in with that left hook just to shut some distance down to land those next 2 shots nice and clean. So nice long snappy jab. Again, we don't want this right hand moving anywhere when we're throwing our jab. Make sure it's not pulling away from your head. You're not flaring this elbow out and lifting it too high or dropping the hand in any way. So step in, nice long snappy jab, reload the shoulder, step in on the left hook, make sure that left elbow is nice and high and we're turning the hip in. Now, when this shoulder's reloading and the hand's coming back to my head, again, I go with the rotation in my body, let that back foot and hip turn, lift that right elbow high, and bring that right hook over the top at number 4. So, 1, step in, 3, 4. Get the rotation in your body. Make sure you're not taking your head out past your knees and feet. Then you're gonna start to lose balance. All the power comes from the rotation in your hips and shoulders as opposed to leaning in to the punches. So 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. Have a go. So our next combination, again, working off that jab and left hook. This time we're bringing that right uppercut under, that number 6. So again, closing distance. I want to shut some distance down, get nice and close to our opponent to land this right uppercut so we're not overreaching with a punch. So nice, long and snappy on our jab. Get those feet shifting in. I reload the shoulder, pull back, left hook. Now when this left hand's coming back to my head, again, we're not dropping this right hand down to our waist or hip. It comes a couple of inches away from the chin. Rotate the hips and shoulders, and the power comes from driving that shot up and through your opponent. So 1, 3, 6. Make sure that left elbow is tucked into the rib. We're not standing up too tall and locking the legs out. When we land the punch, keep a slight bend to the knees, dig the back toes into the floor, and get your bicep nice and tight to the outside of your chin. So 1, 3, 6. Screw that shot up. 1, 3. Elbows nice and high on my left hook. I'm not landing this too low. Rotate through. I've still got a slight bend to my knees. I'm setting my feet to the ground, driving my toes into the floor. Left hand's tight to my head. Bicep is protecting my chin. So 1, 3, 6. Have a go. So our next basic 3-punch combination is the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 left hook. So we're just gonna take one step in at the start now, getting ourselves into range to land that 1, 2, and then we're throwing a nice long left hook around the back of the guard. So we drive off this back foot when I step in, making sure that when I step, I'm not leaving my back foot behind. Main mistake a lot of people will make as they step in, they only go with one foot. They've split their stance too far apart, they can't generate any power, they've lost their balance. So that if they do get clipped and caught, they'll be the one going down. So you need to make sure you're bringing this back foot along with you when you step in. That way I keep a good center of gravity and balance. From there, I can use my hips, shoulders and legs to rotate into that nice powerful left hook when I brought myself in range. So stepping in, nice and straight and snappy on my jab. That's gonna set my combo up and get my opponent's head snapping back. 1, rotate through. 2, keep a little bend in my knees, pull that right shoulder back, elbow high on the left hook for the number 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Have a go. Our next 3-punch combination, again, setting up off our 1-2, but this time we're gonna go for our left uppercut as opposed to the left hook. So, same again, we step in, close distance on our 1-2, make sure we're bringing both feet along with us, commit with your feet to get yourself in range to land your shots. If you're not taking both feet in, you're half-hearted, you're not gonna get yourself into range, and you'll be off balance for when you try and land any shots. So hands nice and high, nice long snappy jab always sets up our combo. Bang that right hand, that number 2, straight down the middle, making sure you're keeping good center of gravity. Don't be leaning in with the punch. Keep your head nice and central in between the feet. Then from here, that left hand comes a couple of inches from the chin. We want to keep that little bend to my knees. As my right shoulder's reloading, I drive that left uppercut straight up the middle. Drive off that lead foot and hip, pull that right shoulder back so we're getting good rotation into the shot. So 1-2, nice and straight down the line, elbows tucked in tight to my rib cage. Then from there, hand comes a couple of inches from my chin. Pull that right shoulder back and screw that shot straight up the center. Hands high to my head, elbows pinched in so that's not flaring out. I've got a good center of gravity and base, and my chin is tucking up behind my left shoulder. 1, 2, 5 for our number on the left uppercut. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5. Have a go. And our next combination is a 1-2 left hook to the head again, but this time we're going to send that right hand down to the body. So we're changing levels with this combination. So we're going to start snapping that jab nice and high up to the head. This time, when we throw this right hand to the body, I don't want to be leaning in. I want to sit my stance down, have a little level change in my legs, and throw my technique the same way I would as the right hand to the head. So I'm just getting that level change from my legs bending. So nice snappy jab to the head. We're gonna send that number 2 down to the body. So sit down, rotate those hips and shoulders again. Bang that right hand downstairs. Again, I've got a good center of gravity here. I'm driving my weight between my feet. I'm nice and settled, my hands are high, my chin's tucking up my shoulder's tucking up my chin. And then from there, I'm gonna drive through my legs, bring myself back up, whip those hips and shoulders back into that hook to the head. So 1, number 2 to the body, and the 3 to the head. So send the jab upstairs, get yourself in range. Sit down in that stance slightly. Don't start to lean your head forward and bring yourself into your opponent. Just level change. Send the right hand down the middle. Drive up through the legs. Whip that left hook back upstairs. Head, body, head. So jab upstairs. Right hand down to the body. Again, don't lean in and bend over. Or just throw that shot here. You're wide open for a counter left hook. So we need to get that level change to keep our chin nice and protected when we're landing this right hand to the body. Head, body, back upstairs with the left hook. Head, body, and head. Have a go. So our last 3-punch combination is going to be a 1-2, and this time we're going to be sending our left hook to the body. So getting our opponent's guard nice and high, snapping that 1-2 out. From there, we need to take a little step, get our head and feet offline so that we're not stood right in front of our opponent for when we're trying to land this left hook to the body. So step in, 1-2, and from there, there's going to be a slight step and dip out to my left. I want to take my head off the center line so it's harder for my opponent to counter, getting it outside of his right shoulder. A little bend in the knees. Again, I'm not leaning and taking my head past my feet and knees. 1-2, dip. Good center of gravity, good base. I can still keep my eyes on my opponent. My guard's high. And then from there, I can use my legs to generate power, drive through the floor, pull that right shoulder back, and we're coming up like a coil to bring that body shot through my opponent, opening my chest out as I do. So 1-2, nice and straight down the pipe. Take a little step and dip your head out with that left foot. Keep the hands high, and then from there, whip that right shoulder back, drive through this lead leg, pull the right hip back, use the rotation in those hips and shoulders to rip that body shot through. So 1-2, dip offline, use those legs, drive that body shot through. 1-2, change level, get your head offline, 3 to the body. 1-2, 3 to the body. Have a go.